In this video, we're going to talk about the three main ways of formatting strings in Python. You've got the percent symbol versus the format method versus f-strings. I'm going to give you a hint. I really like f-strings. Ever since I've switched over, that's primarily all I use to format my strings, and I'll show you why. Now, the original method was the percent. And so I'm going to have three variables here. Name, age, and pocket change, string, an integer, and a float. Now, this is a short and sweet methodology, but it's not very intuitive in my opinion. It's confusing when I see it in code. But it does work, and you need to be able to recognize it when you run across it because there's a lot of code written this way. And so what you do is you have different percent symbols that allow you to substitute either a string, %d is integer, and %f is float. S and F makes sense to me. D, I guess it's digits. I don't know why they didn't do I since it's integer, but that's the way it goes. So in my string here, I've got %s, %d, and %2f, which means I want it to be to two decimal places on the right-hand side. And then I do my percent here, and then I pass in a tuple with the different variables that are going to be substituted. And they need to match up in the number that you have on the string must match the number of variables in the tuple. And sure enough, it formats it here, 54 years old. Dear hello, Will. I hear you're 54 years old and have $17.53 spending money. Okay, now let's look at dot format. Now dot format, it's easier to see what you're doing in the code, but it just makes the lines really long. And then you have your lint complaining about the lines too long. And so I was never a big fan of this, but it was better than percent in my opinion. So here you put in the curly braces everywhere you want a variable to go into. And here I've got :.2f to give it some formatting information. And at the end of the string, you call dot format, and you pass in the variables in order that you want them to substitute. Now you can name them, and I'll probably have other videos on how to do that, but this is just the raw get going way of doing it. So same thing prints out. Now, f-strings. This is my go-to. Ever since I learned how to do f-strings, this is basically all I do because it has the best of both worlds. It's easy to see what's going on, and it's shorter like the percent sign. So here we've got hello, and then you put in curly braces, and you just put the variable in there. Just put it straight in there. Same with age. Here with pocket change, I do the colon, and I put in my formatting for that float to say I want two decimal places, and here it prints out. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of f-strings, but you need to know all three so that you can find your way around in code that you're reading out there on the internet. Hope you learned something. Smash that like button so I can help more people. Subscribe if you hadn't, and I'll see you in the next one.